So you want to open a business. Bow, 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 bow.
And we know everything there is to know about that. Because we are business girls.
Because we've been owning a business for 2 years. So we know literally everything that you would want to know about it.
And we've made zero mistakes.
Yeah. So please, everybody keep asking us. We would love to do an interview with you and tell you all of the ways that we're so great at owning a business.
And if you follow these 3 simple rules, you'll never fail too.
I once had 10,000 followers on Instagram, and I started my business with this. So let me just tell you, I have 1 million followers on Instagram now, and I am rolling in the dough.
Yeah, it's almost like we don't have enough pockets to carry all the cash that we make. But it's okay because we could just buy more pants with pockets to carry all the cash we're still making. Guys, we're just kidding! People ask us, I think, like quite often.
At least once a week.
How we did this, if we could sit down and give advice, how to open a business. But I think we are that is the most surreal moment ever because I know we did it. And
Yes.
we do take credit for that. We did open a business and it's being successful and we love it. And yeah, it's a dream. Mm-hmm. But
our number one step to how to own a business is say no to the interviews on how to open a business.
because otherwise they'll smell your fear. Okay, but honestly, we, to a point, had no idea what we were doing. Mm-hmm. We just had to start and we just had to wing it. But we did put together a list of things that we felt were really handy and wish we could have known beforehand if you are wanting to open a business. So,
Sound good? Sounds good, Pip. Yeah.
I did this, Pip.
Pip's heart is racing.
The number one thing we say to anyone wanting to start a business is
to work in the field. Like, get down in the trenches and work in the field.
you need to work the job that you want to lead. So whatever kind of job it is, any kind of business you want to open, we highly recommend working a job, any job, in that kind of business to make sure, number one, that you like it, the day-to-day, the stuff that's not glamorous, the really hard stuff, the dirty stuff. Like for a coffee shop for example, we both worked in different coffee shops for a long time. And I think you have to put like, did I want to open a coffee shop before I worked in one? Yeah. But did I know anything about the day-to-day of running a business? No. And so like working in it, and Nikki worked in multiples, she got to learn, I mean, you can say this too, but you got to learn and be led by so many different types of leadership that you could pick and choose like what you liked from some bosses and owners and what you didn't like in others. And
or in like different training styles or like, I guess like different methods of how to be a barista. But I feel like it's so many people like look on the outside who have never been a barista before and they're like, oh my gosh, owning a coffee shop, it's like the dreamiest, like just this dreamy situation, and I just want to be a barista and like serve coffee to people. And I think it is all of those things. It is very dreamy and fun and cute, but I think you learn so much when you actually start working as a barista for a coffee shop, especially like Saturday and Sunday rushes. Crazy. You learn so much about customer service and people, and I feel like you can really only decide if you want to be in that for the long run if you're like in it. And I think it's also important, especially in the coffee shop world, at least for us, like working in it before you open one, you create a whole customer base. Like you really get to learn your community. And it's not like you're like learning your customer base under like a risk-free environment. Yeah, so that you can like, okay, this has no risk. I'm just like getting all my customers and then taking them so I can start my own coffee shop. It's like you're just getting to know the community and getting involved in the community. And I mean, you think about like if you were to move to another country, like they only want to give you a visa if you're contributing something to their community. So like I feel like same thing with a business. Like
was really well said.
That's a great metaphor.
I have never heard you say that. We have done
I just thought about it.
many of these interviews. And so I feel like sometimes we just like say our little script that we've like subconsciously come up with.
Thank
That
you.
was brilliant.
Thank you. It just came from.
I was listening and I was like,
Wait.
oh my, like, yeah, that's such a true reason.
Thank you.
My best friend, ladies and gentlemen. Wise beyond a year.
Yes. She's 30 years old today.
That is such a good. No, she's not.
She's still a child.
She's a baby.
If you're going to open a business in your community, like, I don't know, get involved in the community maybe. Like, maybe build some rapport with the people and, like, give them a reason to know you and want to come to your coffee shop.
Yeah, to trust you. And I think you can start without all of that. But in the long run, I think people love to root for people who they know and believe in and have seen grinding, like putting in the hard, quiet work. Like, just opening the shop is really, I mean, I felt so cool. I still feel so cool and feel like proud. And, but I think it just means a lot if you can quietly put in the learning hours, the like not getting any of the acknowledgement, just like showing up to work, doing the good job that you are being paid to do, and learning different leadership styles. And you can't lead well, I don't think, if you've never been the one being led. So I think that's really important too.
Yeah.
So we always say work the job for a couple of years to make sure you like it and to learn. Okay, gonna go at this with your friend? Gonna open a business with your friend?
Don't
Are
do
you
it,
sure?
It sucks. Pip! Don't tell her. She sucks.
Pip has no comment.
Pip has no comment.
Okay, we would highly advise that you think deeply about this.
Yes. We would highly advise that one of you gets a divorce probably. And so then you're kind of leaning on each other.
You need one of them at their lowest.
Yes.
Yeah. But we would say, we've said this before, if you're going to do it with a friend, you have to make sure, number one, that you're going to prioritize the friendship above the business, because you're going to lose that friend if you don't. Easily. We have had so many arguments, and you have to know that you can fight together and not against each other. And we still, I mean, don't do that at all, but you have to know that like this is the person you want to fight with, and this is the person that you want to like celebrate big with and lean on when one of you just can't carry the slack, when the work is really uneven. Like, do you feel safe enough to be like that with the other person, to be the one that's like failing the other person? Like, you have to go through all of these thoughts. It's like a marriage, but I don't even like to say that anymore.
I think sometimes it's harder than a marriage because
Yeah.
it feels like there's just like more stake on the line. Like with your like best friend, business partner being intertwined than like your marriage. Even though I know that's not true, but sometimes I don't know.
Sometimes it feels
Sometimes
more
it
intense.
feels it's like, oh my gosh, there's so
more
much at stake.
intense.
It's so intense. My take on this is I was throwing my coffee cup into the garbage chute at my apartment this morning.
Yeah.
And I was watching it go in. Okay, I have to confess. Alex has been making, one of our sweet baristas has been making me a cappuccino every time I drop off pastries.
Oh.
And I was drinking them at first, but I'm trying to cut my caffeine down.
Oh my God, tell him.
So I take a little sip. I'm like, thank you. And then I get home and I'm like, ah.
Damn, poor Alex.
I love him so much.
Honey, it is the pot calling the kettle black. Okay, I can't say nothing.
No. So I'm like throwing my coffee cup into the garbage chute. And I'm watching it go down in the coffee splatter. And I don't know why, but for some reason, it just flashed across my mind. I was like, think about our friendship.
As you throw it down the trash chute?
I don't know why, but I was watching it go, and I was just in my head. I was just like, "Oh, what a great friendship! I'm just so glad that it's like lasted through all these times."
I'm so glad that that's where it went, because you throwing something down the trash chute and thinking about, you're like, I was thinking you were to be like, man, trash
Friendship
chute.
in the garbage chute. I was just thinking
Watch
about
it fall.
I was thinking about recording this video today. I was gonna say podcast.
I know it. call it that
I was
too.
thinking about recording this video today, and I don't know why. I was just like walking to the trash can, like just like in another world, and I didn't take my ADD medicine, so I was just like, sweet friendship, and then like threw my coffee in, and then I walked back to my car and was like, okay, yeah,
That's really nice.
yeah,
We have like genuinely made it through a lot.
yeah. Oh my gosh, so much.
Like it would I think it's like attributed to our determination.
Totally. And I feel like we've both alike have had friendships in the past where like the other, I don't know, just like lots of different friendships where like somebody walks out on the other person just because we're like, oh, we can do that. It's like we're just gonna walk out, or like we're afraid that the other person is gonna walk out because it gets hard, so we're like, it would just be easier if I were to just like slowly slip out. And I think this is like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, like one of the first friendships that we both had where we're like, we recognize that we've done that before and we're like, okay, we're not going to do that. Like, we're going to stay friends even if it gets hard or you have hard conversations. Like, we're not going to go anywhere just because it starts to get a little hard and we're like afraid the other person is going to leave. So like, we're just going to do it first.
And I think the business can help with that because it is this level of accountability. Like I mean,
I can't not be your friend because
it's way easier to
stuck.
be friends because we own this thing together. And there has been a fight where I literally was like, and I was serious. I was like, I'll sign off the papers tomorrow. It's all yours.
Yeah.
Like, if this is what this feels like, I'm out.
I was like, no, I don't want it. I'll sign it.
It's like a ball. You're like, you take it.
I don't want this. I'm moving away. You take it.
But I think, yeah. So I just want to tell you to like take a long pause and consider that friendship and think to yourself, like, I know a lot of people that have just stopped being friends, a lot of business owners that just stopped, but that's not an option for us. And so like, I would much rather be like, my first threat will always be like, fine, I'll sign the papers, you take the business, more than being like, this friendship's over, I'm out.
And
like,
overnight,
I would always say
become
that.
one successful bitch.
Yeah, and I'll be here sitting around. And then I'm going to tell Alex about the cup you threw away, and they'll follow me. This is important. Remember that you can Google anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything you don't know, if you're like really like dumb or ignorant when it comes to like the business side of stuff, like permits or like different kinds of laws or getting people to come and check over everything and fire marshal stuff. You can Google anything.
Yeah, I remember in the early days, I felt so overwhelmed by everything that was in front of us. Like, okay, we know that we want to do this, but how do we do this without like not getting arrested? Like, I feel like it's so like opening a business, you're so afraid of like all the legalities and like, who am I going to be like interfering with? Like, what permits do I need? And it's so stressful that it's like, you almost just want to procrastinate and like not do any of it because it feels so large in front of you. And I feel like what helped so much was just like typing everything out that we had to do. Like, this is everything that we need to do to be able to open. And then like Googling each thing, like, okay, how do I get this? Like, we want to open this spot, but what do I need to do in the county? Because like we're in Greenville County. So like Greenville County, how do I get this building ready? Whatever. And just like slowly taking each thing off your list and like be reasonable about it. Like, don't sit down one day and you're like, I'm going to accomplish all of these things on here, because then that's just overwhelming. Just like look at one thing at a time and like consider each thing an accomplishment.
And you don't have to open with everything that you want.
Yeah.
So what are the things you need to be open? Google that. And then draw from your experience, which is also really important, why you should be working in the field you want to work in beforehand. So that way, like, you have all these other contacts that if Google's not being clear, you don't understand, you have these trusted contacts from your job that you can ask for advice from, or like draw from experience of what you need to open. Yeah. And then you're not spending all your money right off. Well, you are spending all your money, but you're not going into debt. Yeah. You probably are going into debt. Yeah. You're not drowning in debt.
Yeah. That was, I feel like it was so helpful to think about it. Like, I don't know, if you move into a house, like, you don't have your house is not a home like overnight. Like you have to like make it homey.
Again. That's brilliant.
I don't know. Maybe
that's so true. You don't move it. You're not.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like now you walk into our coffee shop and you're like, if you were to compare it to when we first opened, like there's so many details, and I feel like it's more like a home now.
Yeah, definitely. But that was built over time.
Yeah.
That was not right when we opened the doors. It was
pretty bare when we first opened. And we just had what we needed, and we had a lot of help from people who we had met in the coffee shop world who like helped us with our layout and like gave us some advice. And so I think it's important, like you were saying, to work in the field, because then you create contacts of people that can help you because they're people you've built rapport with. So they want to see you succeed, and they want to invest in you like with their knowledge. And
this is a lesson that we are learning very recently. So this is a fresh one. We have never talked about this before, but I think it's going to stay on our new list of what advice we would give to people wanting to open a business. And it's just that if your life is not improving, then you're doing something wrong. Because I think that's like really probably not a lot of people's advice or stereotype when it comes to opening a business. But you give so much of yourself to it, for sure, especially in the first few years. But we came to this point where we were both working so much. We were working behind the bar so much, and then we were also working like all the stuff behind the scenes to keep it going, like ordering and emails and like marketing and everything, baking. And also we had our own families, and it was just killing us. And that's when we got into most of our fights, when things were just really full of stress, and it was constant, and we were exhausted. Like I couldn't stay awake when I'd put my son to sleep, and just it was like my body would just turn off.
Yeah.
And with that too, I was like so on edge, and I take to heart what Nikki says so much that like I know that like I get so much more defensive, and like I feel it as an attack, when really like she was never saying things to feel that way. It was just that I was so exhausted and like insecure and feeling like I was dropping everything, but I was trying to do everything. And so my life was sucking. And meanwhile, you were feeling the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was feeling miserable, and I was like, I'm doing all of this and I'm getting paid shit.
Because you're not being paid anything.
I'm tired all the time. I'm like losing all my relationships, and it was just like,
and so we were like, we had this moment where we were like, we opened this so that our life would improve, and it's not. And that is a problem for us. And so we were like, what are the main things we want to come out of this, but like outside of the actual like coffee shop? What did we want going into this? And it was a flexible schedule, doing things on our own terms, getting to travel, and like live a life that we were proud of and happy in. And none of that was happening. So we decided to take like our money and rearrange it, invest in our staff, and make sure they got more hours, and we took less hours, which we were trying to make payroll like really affordable for ourselves, but at what? Like
it was like, wow, we're like saving this much money per month for our business, but like why?
For what?
At the end of the day, it's our business, our money. Why does it matter that we're putting it towards that? Because somebody told us that was like the smart move. Like, who cares? If you're gonna open a business, I mean, we're in 2025. Nobody wants to work. Like, I love those memes that are like, this generation doesn't like to work. I'm like,
no shit.
Nobody likes to work. Like, literally, nobody likes to work, but we're just figuring out, like, ways around it. So what is bad about that? Like, of course we don't want to work.
Not laziness that we don't want to work. We just know what the real depth of life is, and it's not found behind like behind what work you do. Like, I love this job, dream job.
Yeah.
But does it define me or define my happiness? No.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not made or broken by this. Like, I want to live my life and be on my deathbed and be like, I freaking squeezed that life dry, like,
Yeah.
and not lived behind the bar all the time. So
Yeah.
that's life is way more important to us than the work, even though it's a dream job. But so we took less hours behind the bar. We hired or promoted our great employee Laura, and they take on all the orders, inventory, and things like that, and just make sure we're not running out of things and ordering like our coffee beans. And so that leaves Nikki and I to do the stuff that we actually really like behind the bar. And
Like this.
We do things like this. Because this is great.
Yes.
Why would we not do this?
That's so fun.
Hopefully, you're investing in your business by investing in yourself.
Wow, that was beautiful. Did you just come up with that?
I just did. I was so inspired.
No, but really, like, yeah, you got to invest in yourself. And I think your business will be better for it, and it'll feel it. And I feel like definitely the atmosphere at Daydrinkers, I think our staff can probably feel it too. It's like just light and happy and fun. And
Do you know they told me all the time when they felt like they knew we were in a fight?
Really?
They were like, oh, it was a tense one. Or something like that. I was like, I didn't even feel like we showed it.
I know. I felt like it was like so hidden.
But I feel like we are so clearly happy when things are good.
Yeah.
They were like up each other's butts.
Yeah.
And then, so when we're just like, hey, they're like,
Yeah.
that was really tense. That was a tense when they're in a fight.
Just saying hey to each other was like way too low key.
Yeah, instead of being like,
Oh my god, I love your outfit. Oh my god, your hair. Oh my god.
Let's end on a fun, easy one. All right, another piece of advice is
Create a Pinterest board. Or, word of the wise from my father. You can go to the store and get a poster board and print pictures and stick them on and create a mood board. To which I replied, Dad, Pinterest. Dad, you have Pinterest.
But if you're like a physical, like you have to see it in front of yourself.
Yeah.
But that would just take so much work.
Yeah. It was really cute and sweet,
really
though.
Cute.
I said,
my dad would say the same thing.
Yeah, I loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, a little like trifold board out here.
Like a science fair project.
That'd be so cute.
Except that would bring back horrible memories
Yeah.
for me.
Horrible.
Make a Pinterest board, especially if you're doing it. Well, it's great to focus what you're envisioning in one spot, make it cohesive, make sure things look good together, and just like get tunnel vision on what you see for your business. But it's also really, really comes in clutch when you're doing it with somebody else and you want to make sure you're both in the same wavelength of what you want, because it can easily feel really incohesive when there's like, you can tell in a shop when it's like two different people are bringing different ideas here, and like it just didn't achieve either one.
Yeah.
So that was really helpful to us
to
just like have a fun little Pinterest board, and when you're bored, just scroll. And
yeah, especially when you're like in between waiting for, I don't know, like permits or like stuff to be done. There's like nothing really that you can do because you're waiting for the city or like anything. And you can just, I don't know, like create your little Pinterest board and have your whole vision ready for when you can start like decorating.
And that's a great one too, because it feels non-productive because it feels just like a social media, but it's so productive. So you can like silence that little part in yourself that's like, I should be doing more for this, but like you really can't.
Yeah.
Because you really can't do anything until you get approved.
Yeah.
But so it's like the best both worlds.
Yeah. And then you're not going in blind. Like you have your whole vision. Like I feel like we really did get what we wanted. Like we had like a really good idea of what we wanted, and then we went in there and we just like did everything.
Yeah, we knew exactly. And that saved time and money. So create a Pinterest board.
Create a Pinterest board.
Yeah.
My word stutter when I started to say that. I was like, kiss green or something.
Well, you sang it, so it just sounded like you were like doing a little riff.
Just
you know, not a stutter, a
riff.
Okay, so that is our video for today. Thank you for coming. You didn't come, but
You didn't go.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe below. We don't really know
what that means, but we hear everybody say it.
And we love you.
Okay, this has been the Daydrinkers YouTube channel.
Oh.